Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to the Ashes of Creation discussion round in 2020. We've been doing this for way too long. All right, so new year, super positive attitude.
Super positive.
Yeah.
Super positive.
Super.
So I guess we're gonna talk about the letter.
It's the obvious thing to talk about.
The obvious thing to talk about.
Interrupted the
New Year, so.
I mean, we could also talk about the ketchup bottle by Faisal.
Yes. Amazing.
Just pointing that out. There's.
Wait, let me replace that with honey.
Oh yeah, it's way better. That is a way healthier choice. Okay, let me play the bad guy again, because everybody else, you know, is part of the White Bucket Brigade.
Wait.
Calling them the White Bucket Brigade, like Faisal already taking
I like
cover.
that.
The White Bucket Brigade. Okay, so I would summarize that the majority of the people in the community really did like the letter. I haven't talked to anybody yet that did not like the letter. There is finally something regarding the MMORPG. You know, we got dates. They're not, you know, the wow, super duper awesome dates, but they're dates. So my question now is, do you think, how much fluff do you think was in the letter? Because I heard people say there is a good amount of fluff, but it gets balanced out because of the dates with Alpha 1 and the Game Developer Conference.
I do not think it gets balanced. I think literally there is. All right, so I think people liked the letter solely because they got soft hints of dates for things that they're not going to, like, they're probably not going to be a part of. Like internal testing, that's internal testing. That's this month. And then March, they're going to have, that's not Alpha 1 releases in March. They're gonna have it at a game conference in March. They're gonna have an early look of it in March. They might release Alpha 1 shortly after that. Who knows? Depending on what state the Alpha was in and how they feel about it after the game conference. That's up to March. And then the map. Those are the two things that like really made people like the map. Liked the letter. But the letter was a good 80 to 90% fluff.
I want Stackerson to say something about this, because he's always like the calm, collected one.
Well, no, I mean, I didn't think it was. It's one of those things where like I just don't care. I'm just waiting for the game. So if people like it, I'm cool with it. Yeah, there wasn't really, to me, there wasn't any really new information, and there's nothing like solid in it. It was kind of cool getting the map, but besides that, it was like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to reread it, but I wasn't like blown out my. I wasn't very amazed by it, but it's fine.
Okay,
if other people like it.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so we know now that they're gonna do internal testing. If that is gonna include PI, we don't know unless Yoni knows something. I haven't heard anything yet. Now my question is, with them showing it off at the Game Developer Conference, do you think there's gonna be more gameplay or is gonna be more cinematic trailers?
Gameplay.
I would see it as gameplay for sieges more than
No.
actual MMORPG.
They said, it doesn't say in the letter they're gonna show off Alpha 1 for the MMORPG.
Yeah, they're gonna show off Alpha 1 for the MMORPG, a early look in March.
I feel like it has to be gameplay. You don't go to Game Developer Conference and then just show off like fluffy cinematics. You show off what you've actually been developing.
I think this is gonna be just like the early days where they went to conferences and they showed off actual gameplay and they had a playable demo at the conference.
Well, I wanted to say, because I think for the last GDC when they showed Alpha Zero off, there was a test going on, and us people were actually testing Alpha Zero at the time. So I personally think it may just be a quest line that is showing gameplay, say maybe a certain quest exploring around the world or something.
I guess when I hear game development conference, I think it has to be. They have to be actually showing off like tech. They can't be showing just like a scripted, and like scripted encounter like they did with the stuff at PAX. But I might be wrong. Maybe GDC is different than what I think it is.
I think it comes down to do what they're doing behind closed doors, which may be the tech side, because they may want to look for investors, etc., people that can back the game and stuff.
Why would they need to have people back the game?
Well, for future advertisement, PR, and everything, because you all know they need some.
I mean, honestly, I think if they go to GDC, all right, it's mostly gonna be like, hey guys, this is us, this is what we got. You know, boom, here's it. And I think, depending on how the internal testing goes, which I hope it goes well, I think they're gonna be in a good spot to present what they've been working on to the rest of the world. I think right now, and this is okay. So here's my thing with the letter. So if you look at the letter, and I actually have to pull up the letter real quick. Give me a second. Letter, ashes of creation. Where is it? We're so well prepared. We're always so well prepared.
It's in the chat.
What? Oh, he's looking. I linked it in the chat. BCG.
Oh yeah, but I cannot look at the chat because webcams.
Good point.
Good point. No, so I got it. So in the last, and I talked about this in the video. And the last thing where they write, over the years we had our stumbles in that commitment as we tried to find a healthy, suitable and sustainable balance. At times we missed the mark on our communications and expectations. That sentence right there is the best thing. I don't know why, but that's the best thing in that letter. I don't know why. For me personally, that's the best thing in the letter. Because
you just let them apologize.
Yes, I fucking do. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think at least there's nothing wrong with that. At least I'm so happy about that line, because now I feel with that line, they're like, hey guys, we messed up, we're sorry, and we apologize, which is fine, like, awesome, let's move forward. And now with us going into Alpha 1, okay, we're not going into Alpha 1 PI and internal testing is, but we're slowly, rubbing out of that hole that was 2019. That's super exciting.
Yeah, I think it's good because the reason why I liked it, because it seemed like a sort of reflection that they reflected on the things that they've done, and hopefully, I'm hoping here that it makes 2020 much better.
Oh, it's gonna be. And I love how I just got super excited, and all Staggerson did was just lift his eyebrows.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so is there anything else like so 2020 Alpha 1 GDC, super exciting. Siege testing, okay, cool. Okay, it's in 2020, so it happens when it happens.
They don't give an actual date.
Yeah, I know.
They say it's gonna be this year.
Okay, so are we gonna go full nuts now and talk about the map? Are we going down? Because if we're going down that road, then I have to go and get changed. If we're doing theory crafting, then I have to go get changed.
Oh, are you gonna go put on your cosplay?
I'm probably gonna put on my cosplay.
I mean, I'll go do that too.
Do it.
The only other thing that they said in the letter, besides the fluff and the things we've already gone over, are the Is it the Alpha 1's not going to have an NDA in the map?
I know that's another thing. Like, I'm surprising that.
What did I tell you, BCG?
I don't know. You tell me a lot of things.
Alpha 1, that's it. The whole community changed. You saw it on YouTube. All the content creators suddenly just like, instead of criticizing the game, they were like praising it because they all want that Alpha 1 access to promote their on streams and everything.
I know, but the map. So. You don't want to talk about the map. Are we doing this now, or is there anything else we want to talk about first? Because if we're going to talk about the map for a long time, I feel.
We're gonna
do expectations. Expectations.
Oh yeah, you want to talk expectations first, and then we go into the map. That's actually a good idea. Good, Melgus. You made a good contribution. I'm proud of you, and you're not interrupting people. I'm so proud of you. Progress, people. We're having progress. 2020, a year of progress. All right, expectations. Staggerson is going first. Just because I want to mess with him.
Expectations for 2020?
Yes.
Oh,
none.
I think I guess the bar kind of low, but siege testing and then some early Alpha 1 testing, or at least like an early build. I don't know if I could see us getting Alpha 1 earlier than they originally planned, with not as many features as they originally planned.
Okay. What about you, Faisal?
Same thing, but I would add to that that they're going to listen more to the community now, since they know that they fucked up in certain areas.
Let me ask you this. When you say they're gonna listen more to the community, are you talking about the community as a whole, or are you talking about the people on the Discord? And in what areas would they listen more?
First of all, I highly doubt they're gonna do the Discords again, because every time Steven comes in or they try to do the Discord, just people bombards them with just trying to join into that Discord, and it's very hard to listen to one point while the other is trying to be cast. So I would assume they would still stick with the forums and ask those developer questions that they usually asked about, like the raiding, the map areas, where all these specific stuff that they want to hear from the community. I think that's a way that they're doing is really great, but I still think they should do more. How, I honestly do not know.
Okay. Melgus, what about you?
I think Castle Siege is probably going to come up until Alpha 1. I'm expecting early Alpha 1. What, like Stackers has said, what type of Alpha 1 that is, I do not know. But I think we should be going to... I think that they're also going to go to PAX. There's going to be a PAX. If they're going to GDC, that means that PAX may be back on. And potentially, if we're really lucky, we may get a Horde mode.
All right. Yoni, and you?
These are your guys' entire things for 2020? Like, no, like, hopefuls for getting Alpha 2 or hopefuls for a launch at the end of the year? Okay. I was just... I know. I'm just saying. I was just like expecting more people to be like someone, at least one person to be like super optimistic and like hopeful.
Okay, yeah, I gotta be super optimistic as soon as you're done.
Okay. What we know, we're gonna get Alpha 1 this year at some point, and then we're also getting Siege. I would hope we get a Horde mode before the end of the year. I really hope it doesn't like the year ends and we still don't have a fucking Horde mode. But until March comes around, I couldn't honestly say if we'd get an Alpha 2 yet or a launch.
Okay, so here are my expectations, and they're super optimistic. So I believe, no, I don't believe, I think if Alpha 1 goes really, really well, and they get the people they need and they hire the people they need, and I don't know, they manage to move. I don't even know if they managed to move yet, but everything goes their way, everything goes woo, then we're looking at an early beta 1 in Q4 of this year.
Woo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Beta 1, dude. Yes. And then
Dreams
release
are quite
and
high.
then release and then full release in mid 2021. And then end 2021 I'm moving to San Diego.
Oh god.
I mean, honestly, like it could go like if Alpha,
Like, yeah,
if everything,
if everything goes.
I mean,
smooth.
honestly, like at some point the universe has to be like, you know what? Yeah, let's just align everything and just be like, okay, Alpha 1 goes smooth, Alpha 2 goes smooth, Beta 1, boom, everything perfect. Every people reporting bugs, Intrepid fixing bugs, everything bang, 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 bang. They hire even better people than they had before. Everything goes woo. And then, yeah, mid 2021 release for Ashes of Creation, and mid 2021, and then a couple weeks later, you read in a German newspaper, a person died in front of his computer for playing Ashes of Creation.
But to say something that is kind of plausible, because most people don't. I don't know if they know, but Alpha 1 is actually going to be the longest test phase, because I think Steven said betas are going to be quite quick, a few months. And Alpha 2, because it's persistent, may only be a few months. It may only be because it's persistent.
If we're going based off of the original timeline, Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 have a similar time frame. Alpha 1 is not persistent, it's spot testing. It, like, people are optimistic that it'll go persistent at some point, or persistent like at some point. And then Alpha 2 is the persistent testing, and everyone that is part of the core AOC community is just looking forward to Alpha 2 so they can finally have something persistent to fucking play. If we're going off the core, like the original one, I would say hopefully we get an Alpha 2 before the end of the year, and then I want BCG. If we get an Alpha 2 by the end of the year, then we'd have the betas be super quick, and then we'd have a launch in 2021.
Yeah. So launch 2021 I can do. All right.
Yeah,
So wait, are we talking about the map?
I just want to throw one thing on the
All
end. I mean, with APOC, they do have the hardest port of the MMORPG. If it is in the state they want it to be, they have the hardest part done. So it should be, for the most part, smooth sailing. There's a lot of work they have to do, but if they have the multiplayer part where they want it, that is like the thing that could prevent this game from being what they want it to be. If they didn't get the multiplayer networking optimized to a point where they could support their large battles, then we wouldn't be able to even have a game. So now all they have to do is put in the legwork to actually make the game, and we just have to see how long it takes them to like make all their assets and set up all the nodes and stuff like that.
Also, to go off, sorry, no, you go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, I was just going to quickly add something onto that. I think we'll get a rough idea roughly at GTC on what Alpha 1 they're going to launch to us really early.
To go off of what Stackerson was saying, and I agree with you, Malgus, we need to wait till March. Most of my assumption for time frames really depends if they will launch by 2021 will have to depend on if they finally do move before the at some point, and also if they start getting new hires going, because we know nothing of new hires and we know nothing of the state of the move.
Yeah, we know nothing about that. But by the way, I think Steven would announce when they move to a new studio, some way or another, either by their Instagram, Snapchat, or actually announce.
I mean, we've seen videos of the new studio, and
yeah, they were outside of it, and they showed a little bit of the inside. Not when they moved though; they were still out. It was still very well.
The move was planned for November, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they still have not moved.
It was supposed to unofficially start. They were supposed to be able to go into the building, and they were supposed to own the building and start moving stuff in November. The move was actually supposed to take place in December. We got no news after December. We were all saying December move, it's a safe expectation that they'd do the live stream in the new December studio. Maybe announce something for December. They never did that. They didn't even give us news on how the move is going. They just said the move will take a couple months to like.
You see, that I still, it's not that big of an issue, but I don't understand how, moving, how many people are at the studio? 50, 60 people? How that whole move can take several months. I would understand it. I would understand if they would have their server farm or whatever in the office. I would get that. I would understand that. But
in-house?
Yeah, in-house. If they would have the servers and everything in-house. But from what I understood, they don't.
Well, it might take some time for people to actually set things up in the new place for people to move over. Like artists, like people developing the game, they shouldn't be wasting that much time in that move. I would think it would be like a day most, like probably just 4 hours tops. But to actually set up the new place for whatever they need, that might take more time, and that might be why.
Yeah, like the move, like I get that the move, getting furniture over there and setting up IT and everything. I get that can take a little bit longer. But that wouldn't have that much of an impact on development of the game. At least in my experience.
Problem is, I don't know what type of movement they're doing and how much area they've actually took from that studio.
They've taken one whole floor and they have expansion rights to the next.
You guys finish, I go get changed.
Expansion rights to the next two.
Yeah, the next 2 floors up. Someone owns that. There's companies that own that first floor.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember there was a Castle Siege test for PI people, and that maybe they were just wrapping up some projects, and it's Christmas holidays and New Year, so maybe they were expecting some people just to fly over, so maybe they're doing the finishing touches, and we might find out in the next January live stream and update.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 weeks at my place has been very dead. Like, no one's working, everyone's taking time off, so that might be part of it too. Just slow down during the holidays.
I don't know how to say this person's name. Zespero. They say that I think betas will need to take a persistent month to find bugs and stuff, because once you fix one thing, usually another thing breaks. That's true, but most of the bugs should be taken out in the alphas, in the alpha 2, alpha 1, alpha 2. The betas have been said that they'll only take about a week.
I think beta
Xpiro
1 is a month, I think. It's 1 month, and the other one, beta 2, is 1 week or something like that.
Maybe. But the game should be, like, if you're going into betas, then the game should be practically almost, there's a little bit of polish to do, but maybe a bug here or there to fix. But the game should be practically almost done.
Practically.
VZD changed to his costume. Nice.
So we're gonna talk about the map now?
Yep.
I want to go get something too.
Okay.
All right. Phaser get a costume. Phaser get a costume.
I don't have one, man.
Put on the white bucket.
Put on the white bucket. You have a bucket on your head.
To finish that off, did I remember correctly that some of these things will come in the alpha 2 before it goes to the beta, just to test the mechanics out, something just to polish it out, because the beta is basically the final.
There we go.
That works.
He's from Spaceballs.
No, he's from the White Bucket Brigade.
Excuse me, Silver Buckethead to you.
That's not a sword cosplay. I've been tricked. Wait, hold up. That's not. What do you mean that's not a sword cosplay? Like, how I do it? Come on, Warlock. Screw you. Okay, no. Let's talk about the map.
Based off of the, we're waiting on Malgus. I'm reading comments from the chat right now.
Right.
I can't really read your name because night mode has it where your name is. It's Wolf something. Like
Wolf Pelt 666. He's one of my moderators.
Okay. Something about the building not being ready. They are, the top 2 floors above where Intrepid is buying are under construction. So you're maybe right. Maybe something happened during construction, and that's keeping them from going in. But that was already part of the deal beforehand. Those are under construction, and once those are done, then they have exclusive expansion rights to those top two those next 2 floors.
Is your rope made out of leather?
My rope made out of leather.
Leather.
Oh,
Leather, right?
Yes, it is definitely like a shiny leathery.
This is like the shiniest leather I would have like seen.
Okay. So we're gonna talk about the map now. Can we talk about the fucking map, please?
yeah.
Yes.
The map is awesome.
Everyone loves the map, except for
Except me.
everyone. No. You have the same complaint everyone else that I've heard has complained about the map.
The map
Geographically,
makes
it
sense.
makes no sense. Geographically, the map makes no
Yeah,
sense.
it does make
Look.
sense.
It would make sense if you literally rotate it by 90 degrees.
No, like, okay, you're assuming you're going based on our planet's, biomes, like North Pole, South Pole, the desert.
No, I'm not, wait. I'm not going through that. I'm talking about like science stuff.
Yeah,
like
science, but we're not playing in a world of science, my friend. All right, you hear me?
that. Fine.
It's magic.
Fine.
Sanctum was the world of science. Ver is the world of magic.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's like the essence is what's creating these different environments as opposed to the amount of sun they get.
I can also explain all the biomes with one fantasy term. Elemental magic. Boom, there you go. Everything is solved. There's a snow biome on the same level as the desert because in the snow biome you got ice elementals or whatever, and they're doing their thing, and then in the desert you have fire elementals or something.
Xpiro, no, it's flat.
I mean, just honestly, like here's what I expected from. I really thought that the world and the continents themselves would be more round. If that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure it is round.
No, like the continents, not the whole planet. Of course, the planet is round. Flat Earth isn't a thing. I mean, like the continents. If you look at like the continents in like World of Warcraft, right? Like Pandaria, North End, they're all pretty like roundish, right? And here you got like a lot of islands and a lot of I don't know. I just like the looks of it, especially the eastern and the northeast part.
The northeast part,
Yeah,
the part where it has like the snowy mountains mixed with the it's kind of like a tundra area.
Yeah, exactly.
Area.
Yeah,
That's gonna be where all the action is gonna be.
we don't
That's
know
where you
that
think
yet.
all the action's gonna be.
Yeah, with the
Yeah,
elf.
there's gonna be a rare mob up there that drops the stuff that you need to make the super OP crit gear that is for the best DPS builds.
All right, can we talk about okay, so we know there are 4 gates, all right? I don't know why. I don't know, sorry, like I know our webcams they keep blinking and I don't know why.
I don't know if you want to put the map up on the screen or anything.
it's already on the screen behind us.
Okay. All right. So it's already been confirmed that the circles in the map. I don't know if anyone can like really see them, but there's 4 circles on the map, and that's the divine gateways. And then there's 2 connecting diamonds through like little dots, like little dotted lines. Those are supposed to be like the expansion towns and expansion city, like the starter towns and starter cities for each of the races.
Yes.
And then that's like a little bit of like tutorial bit. You go expand out to these cities, explore a little bit, and then you can branch out to like wherever you want on the map and start doing the actual.
So
I never noticed these dots to begin with.
so here's my thing, because Steven said there are 4 divine nodes, and attached to each divine node is like a starting settlement for one of the races, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Which race is where?
That's what everyone's theory
That's the
crafting on
debate.
right now.
I mean,
That is the debate.
I
That's
mean,
the big mystery.
Let's
of
just
all
get the
this.
easy one out of the way. We know the one connected to the sand is the humans. Okay, that's the human one.
why is that the
So
shit?
Yeah, but
the
you also got
bottom west.
what's it called? Humans in the north, like in the cold.
No, I
tundra
mean like
regions as well.
the obvious one for me, the really obvious one, is the top left one. That's dwarves.
Ooh,
But why
I
would you say it's
disagree.
dwarf? It could also be orcs.
We know there
All
are
right, so
no. We know that there are beach dwarfs, like tropical dwarfs, and there is only one tropical area on that map. And there is there's a diamond. There is a starting settlement right there. I'm pointing at it. Nobody can see it, but I'm right pointing at it.
I got a. But the problem is the divine gateways were made for the parent races, not for the sub races. So it makes more sense that the parent race for the dwarves was in the top right with all those mountains. If I understand correctly, the Nakua came after they went to
yeah,
this is Vero
Sanctum.
Sanctum. Yes, Sanctum.
or Sanctus, whatever. Well,
Sanctus,
it's
yes.
Sanctum or Sanctus, whatever the fuck it's called.
Okay, so I'm gonna just say where I think what goes. So I think orcs are the desert one, like the Vek and the Renkai are coming out of that one at the bottom.
So you're
Sergen
saying
says it's
southwest.
bottom left.
Yeah, bottom left. I'm saying the Renkai are the ones in the desert. The Vek are the ones in the grasslands, whatever. Because that could be a swamp area. If you look at it with the rivers and everything, that could be a swamp area. The one in the middle with the trees, those are the two trash races. You know, the elves. Don't have to talk about them. Top right. I can see humans at the top right. That would completely make sense, because then on the top left, that would make the dwarves. That makes more sense to me than anything I heard so far.
We already get a description, like when they do. All right, so they might have changed all this, but like when they originally announced, when they gave descriptions of all the races during the 24-hour live stream, we got a description of the 4 major races, biome types that they spawn in. Where the biome types they lived in when they were still the 4 major races, and so we got a description of where their major towns are.
Because I know everybody thinks like, hey, yeah, the dwarves have to be in the mountains, but there are mountains at the left.
The top left, I agree.
There's
I think
mountains
that's
everywhere. What are you talking
Because
about?
you have to understand, and this is where I'm going based off all of this. So we seen how their races look, right? And we assume so. And those are starting settlements, so they're just coming back into the world. So if you look at the left, you know, the beach is right there, and you know the beach dwarves, they can, you know, do their thing, you know, be all beachy. And I don't know, it makes sense to me that is how. Maybe the elves are the top right and the humans in the middle. I mean, that could also be a thing.
I think elves are where you said they are, the ones that go into the forests.
Yeah.
I think we all agree, because if you remember some of the Empyrean art, what they're showing building is all about dark, that sort of colored trees and everything. I think that's probably the elf one.
Because if I remember, if I think, like, here's another thing, like dwarves mostly live underground, right? They don't, and if every time I think about like the outside of dwarven cities, it is mostly like barren and empty. So yeah, the left makes like sense to me. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Because I think it's either that or, because I think that's what we're agreeing. We just don't know which one, because I like to say Vek, because Vek, as we know, have a lot of naval sort of things. So they need to be some like their port or sun gazing. I think if I remember correctly from the description, they were the most fascinated with the navy.
No, the Vek are stargazing.
Yeah, they use the stargazing to travel along this.
I don't know.
Yeah. Someone posted on the forums, and I agreed with their opinion, which was the Vek are on the top left, and then the dwarves are on the top right, and then the humans are in the bottom left. I don't know.
That wouldn't make sense for the beach dwarves.
I'm
Well-
with BCG that the dwarves are on the top right.
Left.
With the left, yeah, left. I'm
Yeah.
with BCG that they're top left. I think
Well, what's
Fine.
your reasoning for thinking that?
all right. So yes, it's mountainish where the Dunir would be, the Dunzenkel would be, and I'm with him in thinking that the two little diamond expansion things are supposed to represent the new the territories the new little sub race is supposed to be in. I think that's a safe assumption.
I don't know. I will see. I guess I mean I can get that logic, but I also I don't know. It just there's I don't know, I don't think just the fact that the other one is around such like a heavily mountainous area and goes into like mountain forests, where the other one goes into a more tropical.
Because another reason I was saying is because we know that there is a lot of snowy dwarven castles, some concept art we've seen. And I know based on this is all speculation, the concept art of the orcs, there's a lot of sandy / barrenness land that do, like, they're sort of like a horde, aren't they? So they're like, that's why I personally think they're on the top left, the orcs are there, because it's seen.
Yeah, the plateaus.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I see why the Nakua so I still think that it would be the portals would be based off the parent race and not necessarily the child races. So assuming like these have to match up to the sub races, I don't know if it's correct, but I see why you would think that just because there's two. But even with that assumption, the top left, I don't think the Dunir or the whatever the traditional dwarves match the plateau. That is that area.
The
Yeah.
mountainous plateau.
There's more plateaus than mountains. They're not really mountains.
I kind of see them more like the Grand Canyons.
I mean, the way Braun Games just said the same thing, the way I listed it, that makes the most sense to me. Because I've never seen elves live in like a snowy area.
Yeah, I think we all know where the elves are. I think the elves.
I think that's the easiest one out of all.
I say the dwarves are gonna be on the top right. The reasoning behind it, they're very close to mountains.
Yeah, but what about the beach dwarves?
Yeah, the beach dwarves can be located in a different area. It doesn't
But
like
going
way
off of
how-
what's go ahead.
the way how I look at it, it's going to be like every race that you have is going to be split into two, and you'll have like half of it on a continent and the other half on the other continent. That's how I would look at it, maybe.
I mean, do we even know if the dwarves, if all the races, in like, if they all come out of the same gate, or are we just assuming that?
Well, I thought they would want. I mean, you can choose your gate, but lore-wise, I thought it was like each gate. There was supposed to be a gate for each race.
Yeah, there is a gate for each. There's a gate for each race. The gate is situated in the primary city of each of the races. Like the main city of each of the four major races is where the gate's located. I'm with.
Oh, carry on, sorry.
I'm with Stackerson in the mentality that the gate is representative of where the major race would have been, but I'm also with BCG in that the diamonds would represent where the starting settlements for the sub races would be. And I get what you're saying with the top right being where you think the dwarves are, Stackerson, but the thing isn't that, but the little circle bit isn't in the mountains. It's more in like that plainsy area, which is what makes me think it's going to be the orcs, and it goes into the mountains.
Because another thing that makes me wonder is because in lore-wise, the dwarves were the first one to set foot on there again. Like they're meant to be
Yeah.
the first.
Yeah, they're the oldest
So
race.
The question that I have now is, if I pick, let's say I pick like a Vec, right? I can go through any gate, or do I have to go through that specific gate?
Gameplay wise, yes. That's a decision they made. So back in Kickstarter when they were doing the questions and answers like weekly, they said that their original idea was to make it to where you spawned at the gate that your race was at, but they made it to where you could spawn at any of the gates, gameplay wise, to be with your friend, like to start off playing the game with your friends.
Yeah, because the dwarves can also be in the like center right there, because it's also connected to one of the mountains, and there's a beach right there.
Yeah, but it's like if you look at the concept art for the beach dwarfs, they're like tropical.
Yeah,
they're like
it's very
aloha
tropical.
hey, aloha hey, right? And if I look at the biomes, that one at the top left is the one that makes the most sense when it comes to the beach dwarfs. All right, so now
Yeah, it has the sand.
yeah,
and
exactly. Got the
the
palm
palm
trees and
I just don't think the plateaus make sense for the traditional dwarves.
I mean, but what other race would it make sense?
I still think that's just the plateau-y kind of I don't know, plainsy region makes sense for the orcs. That's what at least that's what I'm
Okay,
basing
so
off of is.
then who would be in the desert?
So south?
Yeah, south, like the one the
So
further
that's the
south.
humans. I mean,
Yeah.
they start in like the kind of the lush like grasslands, it looks like. And I mean, I think that one makes the most sense for sub races because you got what is Kalar one of the human races? There's like the one that's the
Yes.
traditional humans, and then you got the kind of the Middle
Yeah,
Eastern.
Kayla's
that
the
would-
traditional. Veyloon is the desert.
Yeah, so the Veyloon would go into the desert. Like that makes sense for the sub races. The funny thing about the top one is it's almost like one of them, instead of going down into the mountains like it does, could go up to the sea, and that would, I don't know, it doesn't really have beaches like what would match the Polynesian dwarves, but it's still like would be an open body of water.
The top one?
Oh,
top
sorry.
right
The
one?
top right. It's almost like because they go down into two mountainous regions, and it's almost like it should just go. One should go up, and the other should go down.
But there's no like tropical area in that area,
Yeah.
that. So that's why
And I.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go on. Sorry, I have nothing.
All right, so I think we're all in agreement that the bottom left is humans. The human major city in before the fall was on a shoreline, and they started in like the grassland plainsy area. So this is a safe bet. I'm with BCG and thinking top right is the dwarves. My only hang up
Left.
top left.
Left.
Sorry, top left. Top. I keep getting them fucking. This is such a fucking childish thing.
And bottom left is orcs. I'm pretty sure, like Braun Games.
I don't think bottom left is where it works. I think bottom left is elves.
Human.
Bottom right is elves.
Yeah, bottom right is elves, and the bottom left, the one furthest to the south, is orcs.
Yeah, Brain and BCG thinks that that's the orcs.
I think-
I'm pretty confident that's humans.
I'm with the
gonna
human
die
thing
on
too.
that hill.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm with humans.
because that's the only desert area. And
Yeah, you have-
one specific node that's right there on the desert.
Yeah, but
so
what makes
that's
you
gotta
one?
be humans.
Why is desert humans?
Because that's where the
Yeah.
Eastern influence.
Veyloon.
It's like your Persia and all of that sort of type of Eastern influence.
And that's the trick thing, though. Is like that doesn't look too
Okay.
swampy to me.
The
It
humans.
looks more grasslandy.
You have two types of humans. You got the Kalar and the Veyloon. The Veyloon are trade law hardship. The Veyloon were forged in the heat of the desert, so they gotta be there. it's not that they're probably gonna be in the frozen tundra.
Yeah, they're gonna be
Yeah, but-
completely in the
but
Intentionally
if you-
trolled us with this.
But if you,
'Cause
yeah,
I
but
feel
if
like
you, okay, I get what you're saying, but then also the top right doesn't make sense for orcs.
Yeah, it does because it starts in the plain, like the plains area. Like this
Yeah,
is
but
like
have you
like
that's like
this is
cold
where-
area, and have you looked at what they're wearing? Like they're more Amazon, like the Renkai are more like Amazon, you know, like rainforest architecture and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The
They
top
had
the
right,
Vec is Amazon-y Mayan
yeah,
kind of structure.
yeah, and Renkai are more like, you know, even
Japanese and
yeah,
Asian,
like their armor, like the armor sets we've seen so far, they're not like made for the cold. So the top right doesn't make sense for me either.
That's part of the reason why I think that they're top left, the orcs, because of the Renkai.
But then again,
Their
you got
armor
the
suits.
you got the beach dwarves. The beach dwarves are the beach dwarves, dude. There's only one place to freaking palm trees, and that's what the beach dwarves are. Period. We're not gonna argue about that. The elves are in the freaking forest because that elves like
Oh, some elves are in the mountains.
elves can go fuck themselves, honestly. Fuck, this is tricky. Like the top right made fuck.
I just
What if you know, not like you know, like through one divine gate you don't have both races coming out, but like one elf race, one human race.
It's not. No, they've already stated that like story-wise, each gate is representative of the parent race, and after they went to Sanctum, they broke up into the two race. Like you have 4 gateways, 4 races.
Wait. There's a desert in the middle spawn point right beside the forest.
What?
What?
Huh?
I think they're. I mean, I think that's more grasslandy.
Yeah, I don't think that's
The middle bit? That's forest and grassland. That's not desert.
So okay, so one thing that might lead to you guys thinking the dwarves on the top left is, were the dwarves chased out of the mountains before they were actually chased into the before they jumped into the portal?
I
Like
would
how
assume
long
so.
were they still on Vera before they had to go in the portal? Because we had that one bit a while ago where it talked about how like the corruption fell on the dwarven mountains and the dwarves had to like leave. What if that happened in those mountains in the north left, like the northwest, so top left, and the mountain, and so the dwarves had to migrate south to that top left place, and that's actually, but it's still, but then why is the
Okay,
orcs over here?
we are agreeing that the beach dwarves are where the freaking beaches are, in the palm trees, right? We're all agreeing on that.
I don't know because I don't
in
know.
agreement with you.
Yeah, but I don't think that mountain dwarves belong in the plateau, so that's why I don't know if that's the right way to think about it.
Because I'm thinking of it lore-wise, like.
Okay, let me wait. We know that the divine gates are in former main cities of the races, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But Stackerson's thing is that
which race was heavy on naval stuff?
Human. They were on the.
Yeah.
They were on a shore. Yeah.
So
It was
okay,
human.
so we can say either bottom left or bottom right is humans.
Well, you can make the argument for.
It's definitely bottom left, my man. I swear.
It's definitely bottom left. Bottom left is human. I have no doubt in my mind. I also have no doubt in my mind that top left is dwarf.
Yeah, top left. Yeah, I changed my mind of it being top right. I also agree with you guys, and it should be on the top left.
I almost want Steven to come in because I know he's just destroying us with this, because I get where you say like the Nakua belong on those sandy beaches, but I don't think the parent race of the dwarves belong on those plateaus, and I also don't
Right.
believe that the traditional dwarves, the Danir, belong in the plateaus at all either. So that's why 2 reasons why I don't think that the dwarves are there.
I'm gonna
That's
do
that's the
some-
main reason why I don't think it's because these are former major cities. And
Yeah, I know
that's-
this is a long shot, but I'm just gonna text Steve and ask him to come on.
All right.
No,
so
I think Steven wants to just destroy us with this because I think he's having fun just
I-
watching us.
Destroy us all, my man.
I understand what you were saying earlier, Stackerson. They did do a dev diary or like earlier on, explaining some of the story. They had a Daisy or Diana or like it started like the little dwarf girl that's name started with a D. Her mom was an oracle that could see the future, and she was. They were leaving their city right when their home city right when the Harbinger meteor fucking struck the dwarven city. I understand what you're saying with that. That could have made the dwarves migrate south into the plateaus. They could have lived in those mountain areas and then migrated. I also think the way I'm looking at these plateaus is that they're more like the Grand Canyons.
I'm pretty sure top left is dwarves.
I am 100% sure. I'm 100% with you. Top left is dwarves. I'm
Yes.
also 100% with the everyone else because you're not 100% on this. That bottom left is humans.
So this is the big debate. You should just ask Steven. Where
I
is the
tagged him.
orc?
I tagged him, and 2 people commented on me tagging him, but Steven never responds to anything I say. So
I think he wants us to. This is what we're supposed to yell at each other about
Oh,
for
yeah.
the next
let me
3
see.
months.
They're not gonna release where everyone is until they want to do the
mean,
like stuff on the actual races.
Okay. Okay, which area looks swampy to you? Like Amazon swamp area.
Amazon top right because it has
How
a lot
is-
of puns.
But that's more like Maine, like forestry, like
It looks more tundra-y. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Both regions look
It's-
like a tundra to me.
Swampy. I'm gonna say it's the middle
Left.
right.
why the right? The right is
mean,
forest.
Why?
Do you
Right
guys
has a forest
consider
area, but it also
Stranglethorn a
has-
swamp?
Yeah.
Do you guys consider Stranglethorn a swamp? I mean, top left. That's Stranglethorn right there. That bottom region. It has some desert. It has some sandy shores, but that's tropical rainforesty to me.
Okay, assuming the top left would be orcs. Alright, that could also work, but where would you put the beach dwarfs then?
I think the beach dwarves are stuck living where their parents lived in the mountains.
There's
And
no
That makes
beach
no
around that
sense.
area. There's no beach around that area whatsoever. Also, like people have already suspected, like people have jokingly called that little island, like that far off right island, Japan, and like I'm 100%. My mentality is that I'm 100% on all the races so far. Like I think I know. Top left is dwarves, bottom left is humans, top right is orcs,
The bottom
right
the-
is
You see,
elf.
top right doesn't make sense when it comes to the
we need to
orcs.
start like a gamble or something on this, because like I'm pretty confident in my opinions too.
What's it called? The bottom
I mean,
right
I only have
island.
respect because usually you know more of the lore than I. But
I
I'm
don't know
like,
any of the fucking
Well,
lore.
I think Okies is saying orcs are top left.
No,
it doesn't make any sense
no, it doesn't
for
make
orcs
sense.
to be in top. Oh wait, no, top left. That's where I think the orcs are.
Yeah.
I just don't think it makes sense for the orcs to be in top right. And to me, I'm really comfortable with where I think the humans and elves are. So, yeah.
Okay. The bottom right island is Australia reskinned to a
I'm
grassland.
about to reskin your ass, dude. I saw
Where do
those. I saw those topics. Oh yeah, this is actually Bera is just a cheap copy of our world. I'm like, oh god, you guys are idiots.
It's Europe.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Europe.
It's Sweden. Up there is
BCG,
Sweden.
you're big on the orcs, and you're saying you
Yes.
think the orcs are where I'm saying the humans are, the bottom left.
Yes, but I'm going based on the concept art, and the way the orcs are dressed, and the way like the cosmetics looks. They don't look like they are like races that live up north, or that they come from, or that had a major city anywhere where it's cold. In the top right, it's cold. So it made sense for me to have the dwarves to the top left. All right, they could have, they could have a major city, in the plateaus, and some of the dwarves lived in the mountains. At the bottom left, the diamond, the settlement that is to the north, could be in a swamp area, because the rivers, that could be swampy. You don't know. The Renkai could be somewhere near the desert. The elves are, fucking forest, and the humans are the top right. That would make sense to me.
How is humans top right? They have to live in the goddamn desert. It literally says that in the
Yeah,
lore.
but you cannot put the orcs on the top right.
Yes,
Why
you
can't you? Yes, you can.
Have you
But
looked-
then you,
dude,
if you can't put them in the top right, then you have to put them in the top left.
No, you don't. If you look
Okay.
at the concept art for the Vec and the Renkai, there are Amazon base, and the farthest place south, or the
I don't know where you're getting Amazon.
Dude, look at the freaking Vec like concept art for their buildings and everything.
They are like stony and like Mayany, and I would say that
The Mayani,
yes,
where did the Mayans live? Yoni, where did they live?
they lived in Central America.
And what is in this? What is in Central America? I'm looking at this fucking map and I'm trying to make sense. Right, let me.
It's these two races that are causing the issue.
They all right. So the orcs
Wait.
had they like with the cosmetic packs. They also released the dragon mount. They also released like
And
the,
dragons like where it's warm. Other races. There you go.
No, dragons live in the mountains. There's also they had like a Viking kind of like ship kind of theme. We also know that they had like the Renkai have
Okay.
Asian themed
Wait.
structures.
I'm looking. Okay, so there is, for example, there is concept. Oh, okay. Wait.
I don't.
Wait. I just. Okay. Wait. No. I just figured.
Only
I just
for
figured it
concept
out.
arts, like, last year.
Okay, I am looking at when did that came out? They don't matter. I'm looking at concept art from 2017. There are some images for the Vec. Okay, some of them actually could fit in the top right. All right, but then then we go back. Okay, the Vec could be top right. The Vec could be top right, but then you go back and you look at the Renkai. Where the Renkai?
No,
The
I
Renkai
think
have
dwarves do live
Asian
in the
themes.
cold.
Let me what the fuck am I gonna do my thing here?
They
I mean,
are
if we're
hardy
thinking about
people.
Japan. Japan can be pretty cold. At
Yeah, I know, but I'm
times.
going based on the concept art, and not the concept art of the buildings, the environment around it. And if you look at the concept art for the Renkai, they cannot be freaking up north.
Where do you see concept art for the environment around the buildings?
Renkai concept art, the building, like the concept art that I've been bitching about for the last 2 years. That's
I
where
know.
I'm getting this from.
Oh, you're basing this off of like original 2016 kind of shit.
17, not 16.
All right,
You're not talking about the
2017.
red orcs jumping.
Yes,
people
and also
with
the-
their-
and also
no.
shut up. And also the
No,
freaking armor
can't use
sets,
that.
the concept armor sets,
He's-
the
The armor
freaking
sets are yes, I can see that. The armor sets don't cover a lot of skin.
no,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
that's
Based on this
this is-
concept art, the Vec are pretty close to a coast.
let me check something real quick.
They've got a lot of oceans in
The
there.
Vec?
Because now that I look at this,
You look at one in the Renkai. All right, so one has it to where the Renkai are in like a swampy area, and then the other set has it to where like either in like a foresty, mountainy area, like the tundra.
yeah,
area I was
the
talking about
Vec,
earlier.
the Vec could be there. Like I'm trying to figure out where to place the Renkai right now. Because
they
everybody,
could be in the
'cause
tundra
everybody,
area.
everybody so far said, they look really Asian themed. But now when I look at it, certain things point out they look also kind of Vikingish.
Yes, I agree with that.
Right?
Vikingish?
Yes, certain buildings, certain
Yes.
concept art buildings. Like,
No, look at their
certain
boats.
buildings,
Their
yes,
boats
but the
look like
armor,
llama.
hell no.
like for example, where was it? Let me find it real quick.
Look at their boats. Their boats look very long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
long
we
boat.
got that concept art of that sun gazer boat, which that
Okay,
looked
so
very
okay,
Viking.
I can take it back. So yeah, the orcs they could be top right, so that fixes everything, right?
I'm with top right. Yes, I say orcs are top right.
So the orcs are top right, elves are in the middle, humans.
Well, let's go by race by race. Does
Uh.
anyone else have an argument that disagrees that the orcs are top right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, just because I think the dwarves are top right, and also I think the orcs belong more in the plateaus than the that tundra up there.
Because you got to remember, the
Plateaus
orcs
are
are
not
nomad.
Plains, though.
Well,
Like
there's-
it's already been stated that
Depends.
the orcs started.
I mean,
like the orc main.
I'm pretty sure I can prove that the orcs are top right.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm 100% confident orcs are top
If
right.
you
now.
look, if you go back to the VEC concept art, right? There's a concept art collection of pictures from 2017. There is wait, I actually posted. I'm gonna post this in chat in stream chat. There is a picture, the middle row, picture number 6. If you look at those, stones in the front, they look a lot like the stones at the top right. That's the argument that I would make.
Yeah,
But it might be a little bit far-fetched. I'm not gonna lie, it might be a little bit far-fetched.
it's extremely far fetched because that stuff's from 2017.
Yeah, well,
but we already know they lived in a plainsy plains area, which is what that top right area is, where the circle is, and then they expand, and then the two little lines expand out into this what I would call a tundra area with the mix between the forest and the snow.
Xpero just also pointed out picture number 9 has snow.
So I was right. Holy shit.
Yeah, but then
Wait,
you see,
on Ashes of Creation Twitter, they've sent us the whole world on a very round scale, and as I said,
they didn't send that. Lex
90
just
degrees.
Lex just put it on the freaking globe.
Yeah, but it still makes much more sense.
If you look at the first one Xpero sent, that the one I've just relinked, the concept art, that's for VEC.
That's for VEC. No, that's wait, fuck you.
Yep, this is Vec.
No, the one Malgus just posted, that is Renkai.
Malgus is.
The one I post, no, the one. Wait, now I'm getting confused. Let me check. The one I just
You posted Vec.
I posted
Yeah,
VEC. Malgus posted Renkai. So that makes sense for the VEC to be top right. The Renkai, that water swampy stuff that looks like tropical. That's why.
Which is the issue. It's you got the Nick.
That's the thing, is we don't have really for them.
There's two tropical
I mean,
races.
okay,
That's
wait.
the reason.
Maybe. How long have we been gone from Vera? How long?
We've been gone for 10,000 years.
How much?
Well, I don't really have a specific. I don't really have like a specific time. I think it's been a little over. I think it's sometime over 10,000 years.
How much?
Which is also. I would also make the argument for the 10,000 years thing because it. On racial lifespan, like if we're going off traditional elves live for like that, like 1,000 years or hundreds of thousands of years, and 100 to 1,000, hundreds to thousands of years. And how long do you think it would take for a singular race to split off into two different separate cultures?
No, what I was going at is how much can the planet itself change in 10,000 years?
Depends on how much of an effect the corruption would have on the environment.
Because that there would also be an argument to make that some of the environments change from what they used to be. This sucks. I want to know this now. Okay, can we talk about the freaking cloudy mountains real quick?
Yeah.
What is everybody guessing? What's there?
Cloudy mountains.
Steven didn't want to tell me what's there.
That's probably has something to do with the story. That was very descriptive.
That takes up a large section of that. That takes up at least 9 squares worth of territory. So if you can't settle anywhere in that area, that's, I don't know.
That might be where like the in-game raid is and stuff, like the story-related raid.
Yeah, it may be sort of like Erebor in Lord of the Rings, where you got a dragon there. It could be an elder dragon there, like one that.
I don't want to think that that's a solid. Like I'm agreeing that a raid could be there. Like if someone settles near that area, a raid could spawn in that area. I don't want to think that is an in-game story bit area because the world's supposed to change and evolve as you develop your nodes and you develop your area. If that is if that is in-game content, then what happens to the people that are fucking settling so far away from it they can't, like, there's no point in them going to go do content over that area?
I agree. It's just my understanding, or like from tidbits of what Steven says, is raids and dungeons will like evolve around nodes. It sounded like there was something else that was not. It was affected by the nodes that were developed, but it wasn't. It didn't. It would be there no matter what the node. I don't know if that makes sense. It sounded like there was something that was somewhat independent of nodes that was in-game raid related. I guess that's
maybe
the
it's just their version of GM Island.
kind of like a like
You know it's there, but you cannot get in.
Like a story. This was just me like getting things from what Steven says. It sounded like there was something that was like, because we know for you to like create raids, you need to develop nodes to a certain level.
Yeah.
It sounded like for the story though, there was something that was independent of that was still affected by the nodes, but was still, yeah, as I said.
I think this is a volcanic area,
And that could be it too.
True.
Or a corruption area.
A corruption area or a volcanic area. I want to bring up the hope that you can settle here, because I like the whole idea of like settling in this fucking foggy, steamy area, like hidden in the smoke. But also, if we want to speculate on this area, we also got to take into account that Steven did link a picture of this area when this was purely a D&D concept piece.
He did? Do you have it?
Yeah, 1 second.
Or the one he recently posted after I asked him about it? I mean,
yeah, when they like right after the thing, right after the conversation, he linked it in general.
It's also, my understanding is like only one node can be around this like high-end raid area. So this might be like they might intentionally have this area set up as like that high-end raid, but still, so it incentivizes people who want to raid to go there. But since only one node can really be leveled to a metropolis, that's still like, that takes away pressure from other areas around the map and allows like for other player types to like thrive in regions that aren't as competitive.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's an end game raid near each one of the former major cities. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's dumb, Magus.
Well, no, that's my understanding. Is like once you get a city to like a metropolis, whatever dungeons associated with that city will become like pretty much raid tier, and it'll have mobs or at least a boss connected to it that will drop gear that is comparable to high-end gear, or at least has the components for you to get high-end gear.
Yeah,
makes sense. All right, is there anything else we got to talk about? Any other topics?
I think it's Toner speculation with it. Tone?
Yoni, do we have any other topics?
What? Yeah, topics. We've already been over all the topics. Letter. We have the map, and we have expectations for 2020.
All right, I would say it was a good podcast.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
That was really productive. Actually, I enjoyed this. Before we go, we're gonna call it quits because we don't want to do it. We're gonna jump, for those who are interested, we're gonna jump over on the Ashes discussion Discord. and we're gonna play a couple rounds of Ash of Creation Apocalypse. If anybody wants to join, we're just gonna mess around. We're gonna go try hard. We're gonna have some fun, do stupid things, and yeah. So if you want, you don't have to. Everybody, thanks for watching. You guys, thanks for joining in. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for dressing up. And we see you guys in 2 weeks, which will be the 19th. All right, guys. Take care.
See ya.
3, 2, 1.